Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI Weekly, your official source for City of Greensboro news and information. In an effort to be proactive in the face of rising COVID-19 cases, the City of Greensboro is reinstating its mask mandate in city facilities to maximize protection from the Delta variant and prevent its possible spread. Based on the latest CDC recommendation, employees and the public will be required to wear a mask indoors in an area of substantial or high transmission. Guilford County is considered an area of high transmission based on the rolling 14-day positive COVID-19 test rate. If the positivity rate continues to rise, the city will consider implementing additional safety measures. Interim City Manager Chris Wilson said it's imperative for the city to be vigilant and maintain the focus on public safety. I encourage the continued cooperation and understanding from our employees and the public to do their part to help us get through this pandemic. Under the revised guidelines, the city will require face coverings or masks for vaccinated and unvaccinated individuals entering all city facilities. Employees, residents, and visitors are asked to wear masks when indoors for their protection and the protection of others. Signs will be posted at the entrance to city facilities, and masks will be available at entrances staffed by security personnel should a visitor need one. For information about vaccination options, visit Guilford County's website. As part of a new initiative, Cone Health is supporting job opportunities and equipping local teens with the skills they'll need to succeed in the workplace. Cone Core was launched this summer in response to Greensboro Police Chief Brian James's request for local employers to create 500 summer jobs for 14 to 17-year-olds. The goal is to reduce crime and provide young people with valuable experiences as they prepare for life after high school. Cone Core is partnering with GPD, Peace Haven Community Farm, and the Guilford Education Alliance to support a cohort of 15 Guilford County Schools students through training, mentoring, and employment opportunities. Cone Core has provided Peace Haven Farm and the GEA with stipends to pay each of the student interns. The program also offers students the opportunity to learn from and connect with Cone Core champions, a group of dedicated Cone Health leaders, physicians, and community members. Cone Core provides students pre-employment support, including interview prep and tips to dress for success. At the conclusion of their summer work, students will learn how to build a resume in preparation for full-time employment. The Cone Core initiative is supported by generous community donations to the Cone Health Area of Greatest Needs Fund. The City of Greensboro is hosting a workshop intended to connect minority businesses with future contracting opportunities with the city. Small business owners who are interested in bidding on City of Greensboro projects are invited to attend the Building Relationships Workshop. This is an excellent networking event. Attendees will be given access to a list of all upcoming city projects planned from now until June 30th, 2022. For a third year, this list is being compiled and made available for review at Building Relationships 2021 Overview of Forecasted City Projects. The event will take place from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Monday, August 23rd. Online registration is required by Friday, August 20th. During this event, Spanish interpreters will be available. For more information, call the City's Office of Equity and Inclusion at 336-373-7980. The city developed a partnership with Cone Health to share a series of brief and informative videos designed to inspire you to make better choices when it comes to healthy living. Following these tips is an easy way to help each of us improve our quality of life. Let's take a moment to check out today's news for your health.
Coronavirus is in the community and we have to adjust to its presence, but it doesn't mean you can't live your lives. We just want you to be safe. A lot of people are beginning to go back out and do things, so let's talk about some ways to stay safe. When you're out in public, it's important that you always bring your mask. A helpful tip is to just go ahead and mark the outside of your mask with a marker. That way you can keep track of which side is outside and which side is inside. It's very important that you wear your mask the proper way. You take the loop of the mask, go ahead and put that behind your ear, making sure it's secure, and then tuck it under your chin and cover your nose. When you remove your mask, you do the same thing. You do the reverse. You're going to go ahead and take the loop off your ear, and then you're going to pull your mask down. Don't grab the front of the mask. Just go ahead and pull it off of your face, and then wash your hands. If you wear a cloth mask, wash it and dry it with high heat in the dryer. Don't just keep wearing the same mask over and over. Cough into your sleeve. Still practice good hand hygiene. Wash your hands every time you touch your mask. It's not 100% of a seal, but it decreases the risk of cross-contamination if someone talks or sneezes, and also prevents you from getting someone else sick. Wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. The proper technique is to make sure that you wash from the fingertips all the way to your wrist, allowing your hands to get in full contact with the soap, lathering completely and rinsing. Items like pens, doorknobs, keyboards, remote controls, we call those high contact surfaces. Bring your own pen, save yourself some time with having to decontaminate everything. Also clean off your steering wheel. Many of us eat in the car and we're rushing, so we eat our meal, touch the steering wheel, we touch our cell phones, and we can also contaminate ourselves that way. So wash your hands often and make sure that you are using your hand sanitizer when you're out and about. If you choose to wear gloves, they're single-use items, so you want to discard your gloves, not touching multiple surfaces because you'll contaminate everything. When out in public or with groups larger than 5 or 10 people, you always want to maintain social distancing. That means that you maintain about 6 feet between you and the next person when possible. It's also important to avoid crowded spaces when you can. Many places are beginning to limit how many people they let into stores, but you could do that on your own by just scanning the room and then waiting until the crowd passes. If you have symptoms of coronavirus, stay home. Call one of the many clinics at Cone Health and you can do a virtual visit, and we'll talk with you about testing. Coronavirus is in our community, so as we adjust to this new normal, we want you to continue to live your lives. Just to remember to keep safe, keeping each other protected by following these tips.
The city is doing its part to make it easy for residents to support the environment. The solution involves bins and barrels. We'll have that story and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. The city of Greensboro is making it easy for residents to lower their carbon footprint and conserve water by investing in backyard compost bins and rain barrels at discounted prices. The city is selling 80-gallon Earth Machine compost bins for $50. The 55-gallon cistern rain barrels are $69.95. The sale is open to all Guilford County residents. Online orders will be processed through October 1st. Bins and barrels can be picked up at the White Street landfill from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturday, October 9th. 25% of a typical household's waste can be composted. Keeping these items out of trash cans frees up space at the landfill and cuts down on carbon and methane emissions released in landfills. Composting also reduces the need for chemical fertilizers, helps soil retain moisture, and prevents soil erosion. Rain barrels help conserve water, reduces stormwater runoff, and minimizes the need for chemical fertilizers. Place your order by visiting the city's website. The White Street landfill is located at 2503 White Street. Nominations are being accepted now through October 1st for the Greensboro History Museum's prestigious 2021 Voices of a City Award. This honor recognizes significant and original contributions to local history. Nominations for both individuals and organizations will be accepted. Submissions from high school and college students will be judged in a separate category. Projects can be as varied as our city. Collectors of historical documents or artifacts are also eligible. Nominations should include a letter and at least one example of work for consideration provided in either hard copy or digital format. The Greensboro History Museum Community Engagement Committee and its advisory board will be the judges. The award presentation will take place during the Greensboro History Museum's annual dinner on November 4th. Submissions should be sent to Museum Director Carol Hart at the Greensboro History Museum located at 130 Summit Avenue in Greensboro. For more information about the nomination process, contact Carol Hart at 336-373-2306. Music for a Sunday Evening in the Park, or MUSEP, concerts will resume in person for its 42nd season. Performers will take to the stage at 6 p.m. each Sunday from now to August 29th at the White Oak Amphitheater on West Gate City Boulevard. Concert attendees will see and hear from some long-standing favorites, including Sweet Dreams and Dobie. Several musical acts will make their MUSEP debut, including the Lorena Guillen Tango Ensemble and Soul Tree. Ryan Deal, the city's chief creative economy officer, said after more than a year of virtual programming, we are thrilled to be returning to live and in-person events. While planning around the pandemic meant this series is shorter than usual and all at the same location. Expect to see a return to a full summer of concerts returning to outdoor spaces throughout the city next year. Free parking will be provided for the White Oak concerts, and guests will be allowed to bring their own food. Alcoholic beverages will be available for purchase at the venue. The MUSEP series is presented by Creative Greensboro and sponsored by UNCG, More Music, Fox 8, and White Oak Amphitheater. To learn more about Creative Greensboro, visit the city's website. The city of Greensboro is a college community. Students will be heading back to campus for the fall and leasing apartments. Coming up after the break, we'll offer fire safety tips for the off-campus community. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. While starting a new college year can be exciting, it also comes with a certain level of new responsibilities for college students who live off campus. One of the most important responsibilities commonly overlooked is making sure your apartment is as safe as possible. Joining me now to promote Campus Fire Safety Month coming up in September is Dee Shelton. She is the Fire and Life Safety Educator with the Greensboro Fire Department. Hello, Dee. Welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I'm so glad to see you. It is that time of year again. Students will be coming back to campus at some point in time. How do college students assure themselves that they are finding a safe living space?
I'm definitely making sure that you inspect it first. The NFPA, along with some other collaborates, have gotten together and they've created this see it before you sign it. So in essence, what they're speaking of is, checking out the apartment or the home that you're going to be renting and inspecting it before you sign that contract. Because once you sign the contract, you're in. Right. And so you want to make sure that when you go in, you're knowing what to look for. There's a little checklist you can look at. You want to know what's going to be safe and what's not.
What are some of the things on the checklist we want to make sure students are aware of? So,
of course, smoke alarms. That's a big issue. With the smoke alarms, you want to make sure that they are in date. You want to make sure that the battery's good if they work on a battery, if they're the interconnected type, that they're working interconnectively. You want to make sure that they're doing what you expect them to do. You also want to make sure that if you are using gas in the unit for any reason, that you have carbon monoxide as well, whether it's a combination with the smoke or it's a separate unit.
Okay, so what are some of the most common causes of fires in an off-campus dwelling?
The most common cause, just like it is in our homes, is unattended cooking fires. So, and this could be, because you're coming in, you're tired, you need to study, you're coming in from classes all day, or maybe you've been out with friends on the weekend. You just want to make sure that you're not cooking when you are sleepy, you're not cooking when you are under the influence of any type, and you're staying with it. Just stay with what you're cooking, don't leave the room, watch everything you're cooking to make sure it doesn't accidentally light off.
Okay, and we alluded to people moving in as we're getting ready for the fall semester to start up. I recall way back when we were always reminded to make sure when you are moving in that the stove is not on. Maybe you set some boxes on there and next thing you know the box goes up in flames.
Yes, that is a huge thing. And even out in the regular public, not just with coming onto campus for the new year, when you set anything on top of the stove, make sure that those buttons are off, and especially if they have the buttons along the bottom, because you can accidentally bump those or a child push them, and we've had several fires started because of that.
Oh wow, so make sure you pay attention. Now, would you say it's a hazard to create storage areas for extra boxes and clutter?
It's tough because especially if you're in a dorm room or even a small apartment complex, it's tough when you don't have, you're thinking of home and you want to bring everything with you, but you don't necessarily have enough room. So you want to make sure that you're not blocking any exits, any windows or doors. Your way out or way to the exit is clear, and nothing combustible under stairwells, because anyone living above you, they've got to be able to get down as well, and so anything combustible stored under a stairwell can cause that stairway to burn and they don't have a way out.
Okay, good point. And what is the most important tip you want to give students who are moving into or living off campus?
Smoke alarms are always my number one. As long as we know that those smoke alarms are present, they are working, that we have followed the manufacturer's information, they're in date. As long as we know that, then there's something to not only alert you when you're awake, but it will wake you up when you're asleep so that you can get out.
So I think maybe everyone's gift list, graduation gift, Christmas gift, birthday gift, is a smoke alarm.
Yes.
You can never go wrong with that. Well, thank you, Dee, for reminding our students how to be safe in their off-campus housing. Looking forward to your next visit and your next set of tips.
All right, thanks, Carla.
Thank you. Stay tuned for some useful information as we tell you something about the city. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. One way to stay informed about decisions that impact our city is by attending or tuning in to City Council meetings at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of the month. The fourth Tuesday is reserved for a meeting as needed. In response to growing numbers of the COVID-19 Delta variant and to prevent its possible spread, all meetings of the Greensboro City Council, as well as boards and commissions, will be conducted virtually. The next City Council meeting is scheduled for 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, August 17th. Meetings will be conducted via Zoom. City boards and commissions will be led by their city staff liaison. All electronic meetings will follow standard protocols and procedures for the respective board and commission. The Greensboro City Council meetings are broadcast right here on GTN. The meetings are also streamed live on the city's website and on Roku. The City Council meets on Level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building located at 300 West Washington Street. To review the council meeting schedule and agendas, please visit the city's website. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. Guilford Works is hosting a major league hiring event. This is in partnership with Truist Point Stadium in High Point. The job fair is taking place on Thursday, August 26th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Hundreds of jobs are available. The list of participating employers includes an all-star lineup. Applicants must provide a resume and contact information to NC Works Career Center and have an active NC Works registration. Staff will be on hand to assist anyone who needs to register. Safety protocols such as wearing a face mask and social distancing are required for any unvaccinated individuals attending the event. The Guilford County NC Works Career Centers provide the community with a variety of no-cost resources to help job seekers acquire sustainable income and meaningful employment. For more information, visit the Guilford Works website. Coming up after the break, we'll showcase our department spotlight, but first, meet the people who boomeranged back to Greensboro.
My name is Phoebe Murray, and I am a consultant in workforce retention and recruitment. I came back from the Triangle area because my family was ready to settle down and buy a home. Charles and I are fortunate that we're both primarily remote workers, so we have the flexibility to work from home at this point in our lives when we're trying to spend as much time as possible together with our family and watching our daughter grow up.
My name is JT Job, and I'm a software developer at Innovations for Learning. I left Greensboro in 2005, and it's changed so much since then. Greensboro is great for my career. Since I work remotely as a developer, there's a fantastic community of people working at a co-working space downtown. I love living in Fisher Park because it's so beautiful. The architecture, the trees, everything that you get with the historic district. And we have the beautiful actual park in the middle of the neighborhood that's just a great place to go walking with your dog.
My family and I love to just get out for walks in the neighborhood, We pop into Deep Roots and pick up groceries to cook for dinner. We love strolling around Fisher Park. It's just a beautiful neighborhood to live in.
I like to joke that this is the second pandemic our home's been through. It was built in 1913, so we know it's over 100 years old. My wife Keely and I are expecting our first, and we couldn't be happier to be bringing her up in this beautiful house in this great neighborhood.
Welcome back. The City of Greensboro has more than 20 departments and several divisions committed to serving you, our residents and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. Creative Greensboro, the city's Office for Arts and Culture, is using a $15,000 grant to fund the Creative Catalyst Fellowship made possible with support from the Emily Hall Tremaine Foundation. Fellow Karen Archia has joined the Creative Greensboro staff for a 7-month fellowship to support and consult with contracted artists involved with the Neighborhood Arts Residency Program announced earlier this year. The residency initiative supports place-based and community-engaged arts experiences in Dudley Heights, Glenwood, and Kings Forest neighborhoods. These competitive paid fellowships advance artist leadership through skill building and mentoring, which strengthen creative community networks to better address regional gaps. The fellowships increase access, inclusion, and equity while embracing participation and exchange across the creative community. To learn more about Creative Greensboro, visit the city's website. Straight ahead on the other side of the break is this week's Way to Go GSO Shoutout. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO shout out. This week's shout out goes to Greensboro Parks and Recreation. Staff is accepting online registration for after-school care for kids ages 5 to 12. Activities will take place at all city recreation centers. The cost is $30 per child each week. Program hours are from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. on weekdays and all day on teacher workdays. Children and staff are required to wear a face covering. We also want to send a shout out to the 2021 graduates of Camp Spark, which is an all-female summer camp designed to introduce young ladies to the fire service. The classes are taught by female firefighters. As the Delta variant starts to surface, please remember to wear your mask, wash your hands often, and wait 6 feet apart. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Alexa users can subscribe to our 5-minute flash briefings, which airs on 90.1 FM and 100.7 FM. Be sure to download our weekly podcast, Talk City Greensboro, and now GTN is streaming on Roku. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.